Couple more chairs if we have people that want to sit down. There's a couple more.
To belt it out.
Did anybody else have one?
There's an extra chair in front of you. Here, once you're there. Oh, my room. There's two chairs over here.
Or closer to the door. There's a couple chairs by the door. Other door. No, Friday. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call us back into open session. And if I know we're smushed, but if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, best as you can. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I just wanted to let everybody know that we submitted a card about public comment. We will absolutely get to all this. We just have the employees report out first, and then we'll get to the public comment part of the meeting. So I didn't forget yet as we start the business of the meeting. Our first thing is 3.2, Santa Rita Elementary School.
Yay. Hi, everybody. I'm David Hermosillo. I'm the principal of Santa Rita Elementary School, and I'm delighted to have fourth grade representatives from our leadership team. Fourth graders, stand up and come join me. You ready?
Hi, my name is Nicole Soto. I am a fourth grader at Santa Rita Elementary School. My teacher is Mr. Lopez, and this is our wonderful principal, Mr. Hermosillo. And our amazing secretaries, Miss Allen and Mrs. Jimenez. They keep our school safe.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, our animations aren't working because my flash drive isn't cooperating with the computer, so I do apologize. There was a picture with our wonderful secretary and our attendance clerk, but still get to see them, but they were there.
Hi, my name is Yahaira Ramirez Hernandez, and I'm a fourth grade at Santa Rita Elementary School. My teacher is Miss Valenzuela, and I am going to tell you about our English Language Advisory Council. ELAC is made up of parents and staff members. They meet to discuss ways to support English language learners and their parents. My name is Elisa Diaz. I am a fourth grader and my teacher is Miss Nevin. This is our Santa Rita volleyball team with their coaches Miss Callaway and Mr. Gallardo. They did a great job this year. I am a student at Santa Rita Elementary School. My name is Griselda Zarate and my teacher is Miss Nevin. Here at Santa Rita, we love to read because it is so important to be a good reader. Students can check out books from the library and the bookmobile. We also have a cool reading club that meets in the morning before school.
My name is Vanessa Diaz, and I am a fourth grader. My teacher is Ms. Valenzuela. Our migrant education program is great because it includes services such as tutoring and help for parents. In many classrooms, students are learning through fun and exciting activities. Here you can see students in Miss Cummings' classroom learning about math and science by building bridges and catapults.
Oops, hold on, we want to get that little video in there, sorry.
Speak out the middle.
Did it break?
In Mr. Vidon's classroom, students are learning how to solve time, speed, and distance problems by observing model cars rolling down a slide.
Sorry, guys, that's the operator here. Sorry, I do apologize. It's not you, it's me. Oh, I gotta go back to slideshow. Forgive me.
Up on the top.
Up on the top slide. Here we go. Here we go. No, we'll do the video.
That car coming down, are you ready?
I don't know why it went sideways. Great job. Oh, it's not the end. I don't know what's doing that. I'm so sorry.
There was no other slides.
There were 2 other slides. Anyway, go ahead.
We had a wonderful night when students and their parents came to school to enjoy a delicious club-set dinner with rice, beans, a drink, and a cookie. The cafeteria was beautifully decorated and looked just like nice Mexican restaurant. Additionally, students with political dancers amazed us with their talent by the way that singing the purple dress.
And you would have seen a scene with a picture of her in a purple dress because she's a great dancer. Thank you so much, and thanks to my wonderful 4th grade leadership students. Another round of applause for them.
Mr. Hermosillo, would they like to introduce their parents and loved
Oh, please, Nicole.
This is my dad. His name is Guadalupe, and my mom is Araceli, and my big sister Cassandra, and my little brother Alexis, and my baby sister that's down there, Brisa. My dad his name is Isaac Ramirez. My dad is Bernardo Lina.
My dad's name is Seferino Zarate.
My mom's name is Lorena. My stepdad's name is Guillermo Flores.
Nicole?
You guys all did an amazing job. Those that we went. I went to Santa Rita School as well, and so did my brother. So it's a special place in my heart. And so one day you guys could also be here as a school board member, as an adult. So, right?
I won't be here. I just want to say, lovely ladies, our future leaders, you showed courage today. I am just so proud of you right now. This is amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, you are shining like stars right now. And I just want to thank you and your parents. It's just amazing. You look very nice tonight. You're very professional. You spoke clearly. Thank you.
Thank you to the leadership team. You were amazing. We are so excited about what's going on at Santa Rita. I live right next to the school in the blue house, so I love to get to see you guys every day. And I get to see my neighbors here. It's wonderful. And I just, on behalf of the board, just to tell the principal, we're delighted with everything that's going on at the school. Thank you.
And I enjoy myself every time I come and visit you guys, and I'll be there on Monday. So that's my next visit.
So,
Thank you.
Santa Rita families and staff, you are welcome to stay for the meeting, or if you want to go home to do other important things that I know need to go on at your house, you're welcome to exit right now. Thank you.
we'll just give you guys, if you want to stay, or you want, we'll just give them a few minutes so they
Yeah.
can leave this idea, and then we'll continue. So, if anybody that wants to leave, just give them some time. Somebody-
Thank you.
Oh, she doesn't want
It's a great sign.
All right.
You too.
Okay, so we're going on to 4.0. Could I motion to approve the consent agenda?
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so it passes 3-0. Okay, so we are on to 5.0, then 5.1, reports from district organizations, councils, or committees. Do I have anybody from SRTA or CSCA in the audience? Yay, sorry, it's
Yes.
crowded today.
I'm Servant Vice President of SRTA. I just want to report that the teachers really enjoyed our professional development day. Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it last week? But we're really, teachers, I mean, the yoga, the tai chi, the math, interventions and stuff, and the makerspace. The grade level, the PLC meetings were fantastic. The teachers have reported out that they really, really appreciated it. And I know a couple grade levels are planning on still meeting separately again. So it was a good connection to bring us together, because we haven't met for a while as a grade level across the district. So it's fantastic, and we really appreciate that opportunity.
Danny, just if you guys could stand up and just tell us, Danny and then Heather too, you guys, these are two.
My name is Heather Morella. I'm the treasurer for the union, and I am a fourth grade teacher at New Republic.
I'm Danny Crouch. I am a first grade teacher at La Jolla Elementary, and I'm the secretary for the union.
Thank you guys for coming.
Do we have anybody from CSCA? Any principals or anybody else in the audience? I'm gonna go on to Sterling.
Nice to see you. Apologize for my absences. I've missed a couple meetings due to concerns. That stays a secret. My report tonight is going to consist of a wonderful presentation by our school counselors. As you know, we have amazing counselors. One of them is not able to be here tonight due to a family issue, but we have, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, but this is a report out that we've been looking forward to kind of get a feel where our counseling program is going and what we're working on. So we have 3 of our counselors here tonight, and we have a mix of a middle school and some elementary school, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and they're going to give you just a short little presentation and an update on our current counseling program. Ladies, please take it away.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Marisela Halcon, and I am the counselor from McKinnon and New Republic.
Hi, my name is Ixel Coronel. I am the counselor at WW.
Good evening. My name is Erika Zamora, and I am the counselor at Bolsonos.
So like Nadine said, we're here to talk to you about programs that we're doing counseling wise, right? So we're gonna be talking about different things that are happening with the counseling program and all the schools, so you have an idea of what's happening and you have an idea of some of the cool activities and some of the resources that the parents and students and teachers have through this counseling program. And so we are going to start by talking about our character club or character counts club. So this is a club that we have basically at all the schools where we realize the students have social emotional needs, right? And sometimes they don't get referred to counseling, right? And sometimes they need additional support. So we put together the character count club for those kids that kind of struggle, maybe connecting with their peers or adults, right? So basically what we do at the schools is we meet either once, twice a week during lunch, and we do activities with them. It could be art, sometimes it's games. I know at my school sometimes it's even movie day, right, where you bring kids together and you kind of help them develop the social skills, right, to interact with other friends, and they also get an opportunity to get to know other students at the school. So we have that club, and you want to develop those leaders, right? So the goal of the character club is to also show the students, look, I could be part of the school, and then maybe potentially one day I could be part of A, B, and other things happening at the school. So it helps them really be part of the school community. So these are some pictures of the activities that we do at the different schools, right? So you could see that we have art projects. We do teddy drives for the Salina Sheriff Department. I don't know if you want to go to the other side, it has more pictures. You could see that we also did a school cleanup, right? We also do like little parties to celebrate those characters, because we do focus on responsibility, trustworthiness, citizenship, the 6 pillars, right? To show them what does it look like to be a good student, and those values that they should have. We really encourage that through that club.
And then the counseling program also focuses on the importance of offering students the opportunities to experience the college life. So we take students on field trips to, we have taken them to CSUMB and also to Sacramento State. And students participate or take part in different workshops throughout these field trips, which they get the opportunity to experience how it is to live the life of a college student, which is very important in our community because a lot of our students don't necessarily have those opportunities to go on those types of field trips. And these are just more of pictures of those universities that of the students who have participated in those field trips.
So the next slide is our cafecitos, and this is really big in our district. We have them all at each 6 school sites. So they're basically informational workshops with our counselor and principal. We coordinate guest speakers to come in and discuss just it's our way of giving resources to parents. So we've asked mental health to come in and give presentations. We've all asked our school resource officers to come in and give presentations on school safety. We've given presentations on how to communicate effectively with school personnel. SBAC info, so our state standardized tests. We want to let parents know how to prepare their students, prepare their children for how to best take the test, and how to have a healthy breakfast, get good rest. All of that information is key for parents to help support their students. And at the end of the school year, we invite different community agencies to come and give information to summer programs, because we want to keep our children busy. We did present last year on our summer academy here at this within our district, and we also presented with the community Salinas Recreation Center. And we've had a variety of different agencies come in and present what their summer programs are. So this is just a way for our parents to be informed about what's going on within our schools, what's going on within our community, and how best to support our students.
And our counselors also collaborate within committees. So one of the committees that we participate in is ELAC, and this committee is for the English learner students. So there's also a conference that it's offered to those parents, which is the GABE conference, which is coming up November 7th. So we take a group of parents who have students in the English learner program, and they also take part in different workshops in order to support their students with best practices in their educational career.
So we also participate in school events. This was a picture of Math Night at La Jolla Elementary School, and there's been other events, like for example, in March, we have our Dr. Seuss, we pay homage to Dr. Seuss for his birthday. We celebrate an event called Read Across America. And so we have all our schools participate as either being a guest reader or hosting a reading room. So this is like we really try and, mingle with our community, mingle with our parents, our students, and let them know that we're out there. And, we want them to know who we are as well as we want to know who they are. So yeah, this is our school event information.
Small groups. So when it comes to counseling, obviously individual counseling is a big part of what we do, but also small groups, because small groups develop that sense of community for those students. So we do try to identify students that might have similar concerns happening, right? And we want to make sure that they have that support, right? That they support each other, that when the counselor might not be around, they have those skills to work together in small groups. And some of those small groups also have art to them, right? Where they have another skill that they could utilize and they're being exposed to that type of therapy as well, right? So they're very interactive, those small groups, and we have them at every school because we really believe that having students collaborate, right? When we talked about those characters at the beginning, collaboration is one big thing that we want to encourage the students to do, right? And also allowing them to know how to ask for help and how to look for those resources. So small groups are very important, and each school has their own way of identifying those students and providing them that support.
And we also have counselor collaboration, and this is key. We have invited our director, and she kind of gives us information about what's going on within the district and what we should be on the lookout for. And we also get information from her, and we ask her about specific cases, we discuss cases, it's just a good way for us to kind of connect, because sometimes we're at our individual school sites and we don't get a chance to talk. So this counselor collaboration is really key for us. We also plan for professional development events and things that we want to either participate in, as far as like us being the student and participating in professional development for us, or also presenting to our staff. So we do really appreciate the time that we have with counselor collaboration. And to sum things up, these are our other areas of support, and we're going to touch a little bit on what each area is.
So for school counseling, right? So one big role that we play with the social, emotional, behavior, and academics, right? That's kind of the whole picture when it comes to counseling. But we also have an area for individual counseling, but it all goes back to that social, emotional, behavior. And when we're talking about counseling in the area of social, emotional, behavior, and academics, it also includes giving support to the teachers and collaborating with the school staff and the parents. And community participation. So one thing that is new to us this year is collaborating with AVID, right? And the school site council. We're collaborating with AVID, being part of the site team at our schools, right? Making sure that we provide the teacher support and making sure that we also support the students, right? Because the students in the program also need the support in the area of academics and that whole exposing them to the college and career, right? So that's kind of new to the counseling program this year, being part of that committee and also being part of school site council, so we could keep the parents and the teachers informed and being informed ourselves.
Another event that we participate in is our holiday food drive. So we collect donations for food and then we give them to either Dorothy's Kitchen or other places that accept donations for our homeless population in the area or just families in need. We also participate and facilitate SST meetings. So we are there as a resource to parents and also a resource to teachers in providing them strategies of how to best serve the students and how to best support them.
And sometimes counseling is also part of one intervention for that SST. So from time to time, we're there to facilitate, but also as a resource for that student, right? So that happens too.
And then parent contact is crucial for us counselors because there's constant contact with the parents, whether it is with the academics or the social emotional when it comes to parents being concerned about their child.
And we also do provide referrals to outside resources as well. And that is key because sometimes there are certain families that may need the extra support that goes beyond the school day. And so that, we try to provide them with, whatever their needs are. It doesn't have to specifically be counseling based. It could be resources to where to find housing, where to get, food, or just different things in our community that to help out our families.
And that also goes together with collaborating with outside agencies because like Maricela said, sometimes we work with the student, but the family needs support, right? But collaborating with those agencies also mean that maybe they come to our cafecito, or maybe we give the parent that information and that contact so the parent could reach out, right, to those agencies that they might not be familiar with. So we want to make sure that we provide them the resource and that those communities and collaborations are familiar with each other, right? That they know who to look for if they have a need, basically, that they know who to go to if they need resources like food or counseling for the family or other types of resources like housing. So it's very important to us that we have community agencies available to the parents, and actually BK has a parent resource center that's full of resources for the parent, and as a district we're also working to do that, to make sure that the parents have that resource center, but also the teachers, right? Because the teachers are the first ones that touch bases with the students. So we also want to share those community agencies and community resources with the teachers.
And one of the other pieces to our program is we bill for Medi-Cal. And so Medi-Cal has two pots of money, one to give funding to schools and one that's just like for medical services for families. There are two separate pots of money, but it is key that we do bill for Medi-Cal because with that funding, we can pay for, like say for example, our school nurse or for us even. And it's, yes, it helps us to provide funding for our schools.
And another piece that I think we all value as counselors is staff training, right? Because like I said, the teachers are the first contact and other staff members are the first contact with the students. So during staff meetings or PLCs, we do presentations, we make sure that we give the teachers resources when it comes to mental health and any other crisis that the student might have, right? If things happen, that the teachers know what to do and they have the resources, and that they know also how to identify signs of a mental health crisis or another issue that the student might have. So we also do those trainings and presentations. And one thing that we do is we always kind of like temperature check for our school, and we see what the need is when we're putting together the staff trainings and the presentations, because we want to make sure that what we put together is tailored to the needs of our school.
And just to conclude our presentation, we are unique. Our district is unique in that we are the first district to hire full-time in-house counselors for our elementary schools, and now other school districts, elementary school districts are catching wind of that. And our position here is like so important, and so we appreciate all of your support and all of just the push that there is a great need for us to be here. So thank you. That concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments?
Well, thank you for your presentation. It's I know sometimes we focus just on academics, but a lot of this other stuff is also extremely important. So it's good to hear a lot of the good things that's happening in the Santa Rita district. So thank you guys for your work.
I just had a comment and a question. First of all, the presentation was phenomenal. I like that last slide. For me, that is like, hey, that would be like a summary, it was very detailed. Great presentation. But regarding the need in our district for the services of counseling, maybe one of you can just give me a quick rundown as far as, how much of a need is there? How effective do you think this counseling program is in addressing those needs? Just one or two things. I know it can go on, but.
Well, I see that the need right now for especially our elementary school students and the kindergartners that are enrolled at this time. Unfortunately, there's maybe some things that have happened, like traumatic issues that have happened, and so the behavior, it comes out in their behavior, and so that's where we kind of step in and we kind of try and work with the students, give them strategies and tools, also giving support to parents. So it is key, and now we're seeing more and more students with more behavioral needs and social emotional needs. So it is, I feel like it's a good time for us to be here because I think we're needed here in the district.
And I think at the middle school, what I do see is a lot of need for social skills and how to interact and how to cope and coping skills. And I see a need also from the staff, how do I deal with a student that's struggling? And so that's another area of support that I'm noticing that's growing. The need from the teachers to come to us and say, hey, I have this student that's struggling with this. What do you recommend? What can I do in my classroom? So I think we see different needs, but they're very similar in the teachers and the students need the support during the school day because otherwise their learning is impacted, right? So I think that's the biggest area where I see the need where as the student is distracted or struggling, then that's when the teacher's kind of like, can you do a check-in? Can you make sure that the student has a safe space, right? And then they're able to go back. So I think that's what I really like about being in the school because the student doesn't have to wait until the end of the day to go see the therapist, right? We're like right there and we could provide that safe space.
Is there anything you want to add?
We're just very fortunate to have such a great team. That's all I can say, and I agree 100%. I think the need has just grown to a level of which we have never seen in public education for our youngest kids. So for the fact that our elementary schools have counselors available to them, we are short a counselor right now. So I also want to commend the 4 that I have and their ability to problem solve and bridge services to the school that's without the counselor because of reasons that we could not foresee. And we will get that position filled. I'm hoping to have that done by the end of next week. But it just really shows their level of professionalism and recognizing that, yes, we are under no requirement to have full-time counselors at our elementary schools at all. So we could have just said, yeah, that school doesn't have one right now, but this team came together and found a way to work with Mr. Hermosillo to bridge some services for the highest need students in this interim time. So I really appreciate their taking charge of that, their professionalism, and reaching out and getting it done. Great team.
Thank you guys for being there. I particularly had asked for a presentation about this, and I'm delighted to have you here tonight, and I'm delighted to have you working with our kids. I just think that it's super important, and I'm so grateful that you're there taking care of our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, Miss Cook, you gotta have something for it. Good God.
I'm actually enjoying my last board meeting as the HR. You'll have a new person. Permanent. She's looking for it.
You know, Miss Cook, a new HR director, I just can't say thank you. You know, I heard from our community that we got a really, thank you.
Thank you for your service. We really appreciate it.
So really my biggest news is we are shoring everything up for our upcoming Family Resource Fair. I put a flyer here. There's some on the front counter if anybody wants to grab them when you head out. They're going out at all of our sites. Some sites have already sent them out. They already did their newsletter. And we will keep advertising. We're gonna have some posters made so each school can put them up. And we've got about 15 community agencies who will be there, as well as a petting zoo. And we've got a couple of bounce houses for the kids and some fun activities that our leadership kiddos at GB and GK are gonna man some booths and do some activities and some fun stuff. And I can't thank our school principals enough for how much effort they put into getting those agencies booked as well, and getting that all squared away for our first ever Family Resource Fair over at Santa Rita Elementary, November 2nd, 11th. That's my good news.
Mr. Sandoval, did you have something very important?
This morning I visited Santa Rita School briefly to kind of get a list of the cafecitos. My goal is to be able to attend one of the cafecitos. And then I also was approached by the Census 2020 committee, which somebody else there's a board resolution that was passed by a different district to support. Tim handed out some out, so hopefully we can put that on our agenda in the future to get that passed. And then there's somebody speaking today, so we can listen as well.
Mr. Patel?
To been to BK, I saw a couple of games out there. You know, I'm just phenomenal of the effort our students make out there. You know, and parents are supportive. I mean, they're out there in the evening, you know, picking them up, dropping them off. So I'm just very pleased. I'm very pleased with this Family Resource Fair. You know, and I think it's a great thing that will just blossom year after year. But I think what we're doing for our community and then being a community district, I really appreciate it. And it's always going back to our first school. Thank you.
So I wanted to pass on this letter. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just to let you guys know that this was a thank you letter from Loaves and Fishes and Computers that the district donated 374 Chromebooks to their organization, ones that had been used here, and they've been refurbished and they're out in the community, so they sent a thank you letter. And then, I don't know if you guys can see this in the back, but it's the students from Galvin View after science camp, so just very exciting. So Mr. Ryan, if you can find a place to hang this, and then I would totally take it to my house, but that would so that is what I have to report right now. So we're gonna move on. Mr. Ryan, Superintendent's report.
Just a couple of things. I did have a chance to meet with the developers for the West Area Specific Plan last Wednesday. It was a cordial and I believe productive meeting to re-engage in some dialogue that might lead to some type of settlement and get a mitigation plan in place. I'm going to be reaching out to them for a follow-up meeting, and as soon as I get that and have some hard data to bring back. But we did have a very cordial and I think it was a productive meeting. I'm just anxious to get back to the table. It's been over 6 months since we could get them. I drove to San Luis Obispo to meet them. I took our MOT director and our architect, and it was very informative. So I look forward to reaching out to them again. And then today I met with Matt Huerta from Monterey Bay, helping out economic partnership to discuss the possibility of including into our negotiations with the developers a program to allow for down payment assistance for teachers or employees of the school district to be included into the new West Area specific plan. Monterey Peninsula is going through this right now. Like he said, you have land, you have money, or you have both. So we don't have land. They have schools they're closing down so they can develop that. But we have a development that's coming in. We would just work with the developers to see if they would set aside a certain amount of money that would trigger after they build a certain percentage of their houses. And that money would then be accessible for staff housing to be applied towards their down payment. So I'm going to be working with the developers and Mr. Huerta. Now, Mr. Huerta and his team will be here on the 12th of November to do an informational presentation on this program. So if you guys would like to come, it'd be a chance for you to ask questions again. Just let me know that this was the first day I just met with them. So that's all I have.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to 5.5. These are the public comments that people wanted to make. If there's anybody else who still has a card out there, I will absolutely take them. And so this is regarding items that are not on the agenda. So we probably can't answer your question right now, but what we can do is ask the staff to follow up with you, or if we already have a committee or an individual who's addressing that issue, we can let you know who the next contact person is. So, Andrew Sandoval? You ended up on the top.
My name is Andrew Sandoval, and I'd like to start off by commending the district on being a really proactive district, and being really innovative. As you guys are one of the first districts to implement live streams, I always refer to you guys when we're meeting with other superintendents or other board members. And then I was also amazed at your LCAP. I'm one of those people who reads LCAPs. How well you guys took parent input and made a big move towards your resource center that you're going to be building in Santa Rita School District. So I was amazed by that, which I'm sure will have a lasting impact on students by educating and engaging parents. I'm also impressed with the board responsiveness to any issues and how active you are in your district. I remember I saw Ms. Turner at the back to school night, which I was amazed and blown away at how well that was executed. And of course, Mr. Patel and all the helper volunteers, I appreciate that. And Trustee Sandoval, I must disclose my brother. I saw a picture of him at the ULAC meeting, so I visit districts. It's very uncommon for board members to actually visit school site at those school site council or ULAC meetings, so I commend you on that. And then, and of course, Mr. Ryan, I always appreciate how responsive you are and all the time you've taken to meet with me, and all the active projects you're taking on, and the transparency that I think is amazing with this district. And then, of course, I'm here to support the students at Walls and Knolls in their efforts to get lockers and maybe a locker room to help facilitate easier changing for them and save their backs. So, thank you.
And this was not a setup, but because I just randomly took them as they came to me, but Bruce Sandoval.
That's gonna be really hard to follow.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Ruth Sandoval, and I'm here because I am asking for lockers for Bolsonols and Gatlin View. Also, I pick up a couple of kids from there. Every day that I pick up my daughter, she's like, "Oh, my back," and she cannot wait to put her backpack in the car and drop it. I understand that there is a Chromebook, but I wanted to see, well, what else is in your backpack? She has her shoes because, of course, the girls want to dress cute, but they also need the correct shoes to run for PE for the mile. So she takes her shoes. She's in fencing. Her jacket is so heavy, so she has to carry that all the way. She's in music, so she holds a clarinet. She has her binder. They are also required to carry markers and colored pencils, plus her personal items and a water bottle. It is a lot to carry. I understand. I posted on Facebook, and there were a couple of staff members that were like, well, you have people that will come and vandalize. You have people that will bring in drugs. I came to Gatlin View. We had lockers, but we also had a gazillion books. Now technology, there's cameras to put on the lockers. I understand the drug, issue that somebody had brought up, but at the same thing, they can bring it and put it in their backpack. I get it, there's 50% yes, 50% no, but at the end of the day, it's their backs that are killing them. I did tell my daughter to bring their backpacks so that you guys could see what's in them and maybe even hold them. And if anyone wants to say no, my suggestion is go to the school and go walk around with those kids and carry their backpacks all day and see for yourself what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been to Gatlin View and picked up probably a dozen of those, so I'm really good. They're heavy. So it's nothing against you if I don't pick up your bag. I felt them.
Jaylene Gonzalez.
So at school, we carry a lot of things in our backpacks, and it's really heavy. And my back always is hurting when I'm walking to my next car. So I think we should get lockers because it's going to be easier for us to not carry a lot of things on our feet. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Bella Sandoval.
No, that's okay. We can tell it, yeah.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Bella Sandoval. I'm a 7th grader at Bolsonaro Middle School. I love attending Bolsonaro. There are so many extra activities. I am in fencing, school choir, and learning how to play an instrument, the clarinet. We have an awesome principal who sometimes plays funny music, but he's a great guy. I'm here to talk about backpacks and how we need lockers. I need to ask you to consider putting lockers at Bolsonaro. I have a lot of things to carry. When I come home, my back hurts like really bad. I understand that they said we can leave our stuff in the classrooms, but that's not really the case here. We have to carry our extra shoes, water bottles, or clothes, school supplies, and personal hygiene products, so we don't want to smell at school after PE. Along with lockers, it would also be a great idea to have a proper place to change for PE, so that we don't have to go to the restroom gets crowded. Most of the time, it can only be 1 or 2 people to go in. Now, before we leave, we would like to ask the school board to carry our backpacks to experience what we carry.
Okay, well, you're gonna make a point of it. They said, she said school board.
I'm scared right now, okay? I'm just letting you know.
Well, there's no workers' comp.
No, it is.
I know it.
It is. My son goes there as well. And
Yeah, sure.
Want to bring over here?
Oh, no, go get it. The thing is, that you go get it.
You want to try, sir?
Yeah. As long as I don't go backwards. Hopefully, you're right. It'd be funny if I fell on my back like a turtle. Can you grab it? Yeah.
Help me.
Oh. It's like there's bricks in here.
Yeah.
And I'm not stepping into
The fencing is, yeah, heavy.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Brianna DeLeon.
Hello everyone, my name is Brianna De Leon. I am a 7th grader at Bolsonaro Middle School, and there are so many fun things I like about it. Like the teachers are really nice, and they have fun activities like dances, and even today we had a pink day where we dressed in pink for breast cancer, where they said she's wearing pink, she's wearing pink. But there are some things that we would like to add. Like lockers, as we've been saying, our back hurts at the end of the day. And whenever I say to myself, my back is killing me, a ton of other people say, mine too, mine too, mine too. And like she said, we could put them in the classrooms, yes, but some of our classes are really far away to our next class. And we carry books, notebooks, clothes, and shoes for PE, and many more, which brings me to my next point, locker rooms. I think you should consider locker rooms because it is important to have a place to change. I'm in cross country, so every day after school, well, not every day, but most days after school, you have to go and change. And sometimes it interferes with practices like volleyball or fencing, and everybody's in the same bathroom trying to change at once, and it's very difficult. This is my first year at Bolsonaro because before me and her went to the same elementary school that went up to 6, and it's been kind of a struggle to adapt because the backpacks are really, 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 really heavy. And mine's probably heavier than hers.
No.
We're not in a contest.
Thank you.
Kareen, turn my cap.
Hi, my name is Corinne Nomainai. I have a daughter who attends Bolsonaro. She's in 6th grade. She has been complaining about her back, and I just thought maybe it was just something, just because she's preteen and something she's saying. But I did not know they didn't have lockers. I grew up and went to school in Monterey. We had lockers in 6th grade throughout high school. And we did, at that time in the 90s and 2000s, have a lot of books. The kids now aren't required to carry all the books I did 20 years ago when I graduated high school. But my daughter does play volleyball. She doesn't have a place to change, as some of the girls mentioned. There's not a facility that can house all their equipment or a proper place for them to store like their personal belongings in their backpack while they're participating in a sport or while they're changing. Bathrooms aren't, the bathrooms shouldn't be changing them, put their stuff down, germs and other things like that. The long-term effects of carrying a backpack like this, I have back problems because of my books throughout school, and I just don't want my daughter to have to deal with those not consequences, but those things throughout her life, and that's something for these young kids to have to endure as I did. I just want to kind of see what we can do and reevaluate that situation for them and see what can happen out of that. Thank you.
Omri, sorry.
Is that everybody on lockers? I want to make sure that we've touched on it. So that you don't think that you just came here and then you said your piece and then you're going to go out and this is the end of it. I'd like for you students, because I've heard from parents, I've heard from board members, I've heard from principals and teachers, but I have not had a chance to hear from students yet. What I would like for you to do is go back to Mr. Gutierrez tomorrow morning and storm his office and demand that he set up an appointment for any students who are interested in meeting with me. And I'll come to your site, I'll meet with you, we'll sit down, and you guys will have a chance to specifically talk to me about what you're up against and give me your take on it. And then we can start a dialogue with you and with all those other stakeholders and try to come up with a solution to what we want to do is we want to stop the backpack pain, right? The solution might be lockers, it might not be, it might be rolling backpacks that the district comes up, it might be anything. What I want you to know is what the problem is the heavy backpacks, and that you guys are carrying those around all day. We need to figure out some way to address that. And I haven't heard from students yet. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting, we had an information item, and I know Mr. Gutierrez was here. He gave his ideas about what that would entail with lockers. But I want to hear from students as well. So would you go in the morning and tell Mr. Gutierrez that Mr. Ryan says he has to set up a meeting with any of the students who want to talk with me, and I'll come and meet you, okay? Can you do that for me? Okay, good, thank you. That's all I have.
And if anybody was here for public comment about backpacks or other things, if You wanna stay for the rest of the meeting, great. If you wanna go home to do the other things that you need to do, thank you, and we really appreciate it.
Chiropractic appointments.
Yeah, thank you everybody for speaking up.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Phenomenal. Sure, Mr. Gutierrez. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Okay. Well, we're getting at the board. We should have David first.
I put the statements first.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Superintendent and board members. My name is Amri Berto. I work for the MBAG Energy Watch program. MBAG Energy Watch works since 2006 in Monterey, Santa Cruz, and San Benito, and our goal is to increase energy efficiency in the region. We're funded through the California Public Utilities Commission, so we've been able, at no cost, to help your school district and over 40 school districts across the region to access over $33 million in Proposition 39 funding. And that means we've been able to write plans so that you can access the funding and also help you decide what to do with the money that you've gotten and also implement projects. So at Santa Rita, we were really fortunate to work with Tim Ryan as well as Victor Sandoval to implement a few projects. And so it's really great news because all the projects have been completed. You've been able to replace all your interior and exterior lighting with LEDs at all your school sites, as well as install energy management systems at all the schools that allow you to, with a smart thermostat, remotely control all your HVAC units. And finally, we've been able at La Jolla to install 15 new furnaces. And now all of this, I think really the key punchline is that you are now saving about $90,000 in energy costs. So $90,000 that otherwise would have been spent in electricity and natural gas that are now you are able to use. And of course, a lot of the other projects have side benefits. So the lighting at night is brighter, the LED lighting, which makes for safer campuses. And then in the classrooms, the lighting quality can be better, which is of course beneficial to the students. So I just wanted to come here and thank the board and the superintendent for all the great work that you've done. And also mention that we would be happy to work with you on any future projects. So at this time, I would like to present you with this award and maybe take a picture.
Board president. No, just the board president.
Or do you want us to take
Or
it?
you want us to-
Yeah, I'll take her.
Take your forehead.
I'll take a picture for you. You want me to?
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, I thought you meant one. Yeah, no, yeah, have Sarah do everything.
Can I do
This way first?
Yeah.
1, 2.
Sorry. I don't know if anybody else is presenting.
Get out the rest of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
We do need to
all the awards. It says Energy Watch Champion Award. Like
And thank you for all that you appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a great partnership.
Okay, Rebecca Lamont.
Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Rebecca Lamont and I'm a Salinas resident. I'm here on behalf of Child Evangelism Fellowship, which hosts good news clubs around the Tri-County area. I'm the director of the Tri-County of Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz counties. I'd like for my team who's here to stand. These are all trained and screened volunteers. One of them had to leave a little early, but thank you guys for being here. I am here to talk to you about a free after-school program that we offer to public schools in the area. We are currently in 10 schools, most of them in Monterey County. And our after-school program is free. It offers snacks for the children and does a lot of character education. So a lot of the things that your counselors were speaking to with character counts and different things, we are also trying to instill those values of integrity and honesty, citizenship, and things like that. Our program is similar to the Kids Club that is currently operating at La Jolla Elementary. And so I just wanted to talk to you about what our process has looked like so far, trying to get into the Santa Rita district, and then obviously take any questions at the end. We applied to, well, through a facilities request through your district, we applied to work at Santa Rita Elementary, and were denied with no reasoning. And then we tried to get into McKinnon Elementary, and at that time, I believe it was Principal Petronic, she said that they already have an after-school program, so they're not in need of our services. Unfortunately, that after-school program is completely, I ran an ACES program down in Soledad when I taught down there. It's almost completely academic, and that would be the difference between our after-school program as we'd be not dealing with the academic side of things, we'd be dealing more with the socio-emotional learning side of things. So there's a few things that I found on your website, either through your board philosophy, your LCAP plan, different things that I think our organization fits really well into. So I'm going to read a few of those things and then comment about how they fit with our Good News Clubs. So first of all, board philosophy number 13 that I found on the website states that the community provides an essential resource to the educational program. And that speaks to the community involvement that one of your parents was just speaking about, how well you guys do as a district with that. We are community members. These folks live in the area. They are willing, they're able, they're trained, they're screened, and they're ready to provide an essential service to your children at no charge to you. It goes on to say that the district's program shall be planned through a collaborative process that includes parents, guardians, students, and representatives of participating schools, et cetera, and then it goes on to talk about community organizations, and if appropriate from the private sector. That's us. We are a community organization. We've been serving Monterey County since the 1960s, but our organization as a whole, our national organization, has been around since the 30s. That's part of California Ed Code 8422. The counselors were speaking to your character count program. It's a beautiful program. I did it at a previous school that I worked at. And according to your LCAP number 1 goal, is making sure that there's character education in the Santa Rita schools. The traits that they're focusing on are very similar to the traits that we're going to be talking to the kids about: trustworthiness, respecting others, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. These characteristics and these character traits will only be strengthened with our Good News Club program, as our curriculum is teaching the same exact thing. So we're lining up with that LCAP goal. LCAP goal 2, and also going back to the social emotional learning of the child, we strive to teach morals, character, and leadership, and citizenship to students. Your LCAP 3 goal is to significantly increase parent and community engagement to inspire and support children to be actively involved, and having parents have additional opportunities. We can help with this because Good News Clubs are open to parents. If a parent wants to come and check out what's going on, we're not a closed club. We're open to students of every single religion, race, and background. And so we can improve parents' connectedness at the schools by allowing them to come in and see our after-school program and attend if they would like. Lastly, the moral character values in PBIS, especially the Tier 1 goals across California, are to establish a social culture and the behavioral supports needed to improve social, emotional, behavioral, and academic outcomes for all students, as stated from the PBIS.org website. There are students at other schools in the district that are able to participate in after-school programs. As far as the phone calls that I've been able to make to different sites, either currently or previously, they've had the Cub Scouts, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA sponsored events, and then again the Kids Club sponsored by Slings Valley Community Church. We want the opportunity to serve children in this community. At McKinnon Elementary, if possible, or if there's another elementary that would be more open to us, we are open to that. I'm open to any questions. I have a folder that I prepared. I only have one, so I prepared it for Superintendent Ryan, I feel like there should be a bailiff to bring this, but my contact information is in here, and there's information about a Supreme Court case that we won in 2001 that gives us that fair and equal access to schools and their facilities. So I'm more than happy to field any questions you have about our organization, and then I'll just pass this off. And there's other information in there as well. So that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
So I don't want to get into back and forth because I just don't want to end up in a Brown Act violation, but I did want to let you know wherever we were actually earlier given passed on information from their organization.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so
And
we have gotten it. We have not discussed it either closed session, like we just haven't agendized it yet, but just to let you know that it is making
It's on your
agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
And in interest of full disclosure, I know Becca, she goes to my church. I didn't know that she was the new CEF director until about 2 months ago.
Yeah, after we had some
Yeah, and I
problems
didn't
getting
know
into
that she
schools.
had applied for. So what I told her was the best way to do that is to just bring it back through a board item or a board information.
Appreciate it.
And I asked her to send me the information that I passed on. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Good News Club or not, that you're in, what other school sites are you at?
In Salinas, we're at Toro Park and Mission Park, and then we're at a lot of schools in Marina and Monterey. Also some in Watsonville and in Santa Cruz City.
I just want to say thank you for your presentation and thank you for coming in and letting us know the support's out there, and really want to put more in your.
Yeah, I just let you guys know, Mr. Ryan's really good about passing everything up, and then we just read through it, and it just takes us sometimes a couple months to agendize things and get it to the next step. But I did know that this was out there as a request.
Yeah, now the next step is I can meet with you guys just to get a finalized kind of, so we can just put a proposal together, then I can put it back on the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
So just call Juanita
Okay.
and get a time to just to touch on the phone.
Are there any other questions from anyone else?
Oh, I think it's more of a, should we get back and forth question? Yeah, probably not.
No, for like,
Yeah.
okay, I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, thank you.
Okay, my last round part of the evening, Manuel, and
Thank you for your time. My name is Manuel Valencia, and I'm here as the outreach lead for the 2020 Census Complete Count Committee for the County of Monterey. And it was brought to my attention by Mr. Sandoval that they would like us to be at the resource fair you're having. So we have a table there already. And at that time, I let Mr. Sandoval know about the whether or not you all had considered a formal resolution supporting the 2020 census outreach. As many of you may know, the census is it affects us for 10 years. Each person participates equivalent to $20,000 total. And we have an interactive map showing that what we call the hard to count population, the low income Latinos, various groups that are just less likely to participate. They reside in your region and are in your districts. So we are hoping that you will support a resolution. There have been other schools such as Alisal that passed one and formalized this partnership. And in doing so, that'll allow us to then connect with you all, resources we have, and go forward to make sure that everybody counts. And I have provided Mr. Sandoval and give everybody else example of the resolution and hope that you support us in this effort, since again, this is about power, it's about economic power and social services, as well as political power for those that participate, increasing the chances of another congressional seat. So with that, I thank you for your time. I hope that you consider a resolution.
thank you. All did bring it forward to us and gave us a copy of the Alisal resolution, so thank you, and thank you for planning to be there on the second. We appreciate it.
And Mr. Valencia, just so you know that August 28th of this year, this board did adopt a resolution that is committing the district to transitioning to a by trustee area from an at-large area, waiting on the census information from 2020. So this district is this board is already committed to that process. So I'd like to get with you and just get more information on what we can do to partner with you and support, and you know, with on a second especially. Yes, absolutely. That would be great.
I'm gonna ask everybody, I need a break for a minute, so if we can just take 5 minutes, thank you.
Thank you. We're taking a short recess.
Thanks you. You set up so many chairs. Sorry about that. It's okay. Thank you for coming.
Okay, that's hard. I got it. Good to meet you. Thanks for helping me figure out how that
Yeah.
Thank you.
And no, they were excited. So they were excited. What did you get? So it's strong balls.
Yes, well, I figured someone's gonna have to do it at some point. I need to move. Might as well do it now, right?
There might be another way.
Do they all get broken down? Yeah.
Hold on.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
This feels more I missed you on the soccer field today.
Oh, I know. I woke up, I've been having, I did like a allergic reaction to something, I don't know what it was.
To being on the soccer field.
Thank you.
Oh, she's sitting over there. Oh, did it work?
No, there's 4 chairs.
There's a play on this one.
We gave this chair.
Oh, we made room?
Yeah.
You stand out more in the back now.
Right?
Yeah. Nicole's here.
Yeah.
I snuck in after.
Well, we're gonna run through the next two pretty fast.
Yeah, we don't have much stuff now. Got, what, 2 items? 2 items. How's La Jolla?
Good. You got a kitty. I'm not gonna campus on campus tonight.
Heather, how's New Republic?
Right?
Didn't mean to catch you there. What's in there? You got something? I got cough. You got something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Strong water.
Okay, that's all right.
Strong water.
Like, I know I'm on school property right now.
The best kind.
Strong water.
Tell you. Fire one. That's why you need to
Yeah.
run home. Okay.
That'd be bold. That'd be a bold move. Bring fire water to a board meeting. I can see that start. I can see that. Yeah.
Thank you guys for your questions. Appreciate it.
Hey, go, girl. Don't worry, we only got 2 more items.
Well, that's right. I knew there wasn't a lot of. Okay.
You took the goal.
Okay, so we're going on to 7.1, consider approval of the job description for account clerk.
Rose is not here, but you can address what the changes were.
Yes, there actually are very few changes, but that position became open. There's only one position. It became open when the person who was in it applied for and got the job, the new job created.
Budget.
In the budget. Rosa's been reorganizing things a little bit, and when it came time to post that job, the most recent description was from 1999, and it talks about typewriters and calculators, and we decided we didn't really want to post it that way because that's not the skills that we want. So the change, the first page is basically the same, right? The responsibilities are basically the same, the essential functions are the same. But when it gets to general knowledge, the knowledge and skills required, we ask them to use computer software programs. And there is another small change, which is the driver's license. That position does take delivery of things. Sometimes they're required to go to a school with something, and that's been the practice for a long time. The job description, so we thought, okay, let's put it in. So basically, that's the reason for the change, and it's minimal.
Good.
Any questions?
I'm just thank you for catching me for posting it.
I'm gonna miss Marilyn, just letting you know right now.
I agree. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved 7.1.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0. So we are going to continue 8.1, the presentation of the SBAC results in Star 362, the next meeting, so that Ms. Ariano can be present for that because she is on a trip and she is going to be returning and she'll be here for the next meeting. So going on to 9.1, agreement between Visiting Nurses Association, Community Services Inc., and Santa Rita Union School District.
So I'm asking the board to consider approval for an agreement between our district and the Visiting Nurses Association. We are without a nurse right now. And so we're starting to face some compliance issues and some timeline issues. We do have a substitute nurse here on Mondays and Wednesdays all day, but that's not enough right now for what we are facing. So I'm asking the board to consider approval of short-term contract with VNA to bridge some services and make sure that we stay in compliance until we can fill our nursing position. Any questions?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second, 9.1.
All those in favor?
Aye, Captain.
Passes 3-0. Okay. So we're gonna go on to 12.0, specific things that we wanted agendized for future meetings, not necessarily the next one, but just discussions in the future. I think obviously there's still discussion regarding the locker room situation that we're still trying to get
I'm gonna
data
meet with the students
on it.
and then go ahead and follow up with the two sites. It's a problem. We just need to figure out how to address it. I don't know what the solution is yet, but we need to look at it. And in the locker rooms, Victor will be given some information on some options for modular changing rooms that we might be able, especially when we get ready to do the modernization that Gavin did. So he'll be given some information on that. We're moving on it, but it's like I told Ms. Lamont's bureaucracy. It's like watching glaciers move sometimes, but we're moving through it.
Yeah, and I just, in regards to that, we've bought a lot of storage in the past couple of years in terms of instrument storage, PE equipment storage, like just in terms of, especially in regards to any of those, I'm just wondering if any of it could be utilized for storing instruments or things like, or fencing equipment or whatever during the day and be, before we got to the point of, of having lockers. Because my understanding is that a lot of that stuff is not used during the school year, that it's more summer storage kind of thing.
Okay, we will, yeah, like I said, it is a problem, the way, I walked across GD and they're like that. So I'm gonna engage with the students and then take it back and see what other kind of options, but I like that idea of finding out what it is that they're carrying around, because they don't need to take fencing equipment back and forth.
Right, yeah, no, that stuck out to me, like the fencing equipment, the
Band
musical
equipments, they
instruments.
probably need to practice, so they probably do need to take those home, but the fencing and the other things, I think we can probably find some. Victor might have some more information for us at the next meeting too.
For me, just the board resolution.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that on the next one.
You know, nobody, I get concerned when we do, resolutions, you know, but this is directly tied to our base, you know,
Yeah.
our funding. So, I mean, this is totally within our, doing something like this, so yeah.
Okay.
And regarding the Good News Club presentation, just, you know, our availability of space, and I don't want to conflict with another program, but I mean, it's always been our goal to be open to the community in terms of facilities.
I absolutely concur with that one. I mean, the more programs and after school support, for me, community is community, you know, as long as there are certain lines aren't crossed, you know, especially when it comes to religion, et cetera, the more support.
That organization has been around since 1934, I think, is when it was started. And it's got a good reputation. I know I've talked with NUSD. They're very happy with the program over there. And I have not talked to the Salinas schools yet, but you can absolutely
I read through the information. It seemed very positive. I mean, since the children have to have parental permission to go there, so they're not,
oh, no,
you know, we're not providing something the children, that the parents have not asked for, so.
It's all voluntary, absolutely.
Anything else? Okay, thank you guys for being here, and we are gonna adjourn at 7:24. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Meeting, Madam President.